Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another Pioneer video. That's right, my first Pioneer video on the channel, a format that I respect from a distance. I hear it's dying, I hear it's the best format ever, I hear a lot of conflicting things about Pioneer. I tried it a little bit when it first came out. I really liked the idea of recapturing that sort of original modern feel, where we have a pretty good pool of cards that aren't too busted and a little more manageable. Also, no fetching, kind of interesting, speeding up the pace of play. Well, today I am jumping headfirst into Pioneer, playing 5-color shrines. That's right, 5-color shrines, because I realized I could do this in Standard, but there are a lot more shrines in Pioneer. So to do justice to the archetype, I'm playing one of each of the shrines I could be playing, and then doubling and tripling up on the good ones. Pretty straightforward list. You'll notice we're also on 4 Phenomena Recorder, aka Peter Parker's camera, because our triggers are kind of crazy. So if we get to double those triggers, I think it'll pay off pretty nicely. 4 Fabled Passage, mana base is pretty straightforward. 4 Multiversal Passage, and 4 Starting Town. These sort of 5-color enablers. The Fabled Passages work nicely with the Peter Parker's camera. 4 Aang's Journey helps us find our basics, and our shrines gains us a little life. We also get 4 White Lotus Hideout, which is just a 5-color land for shrines specifically, and lessons, I suppose. Sideboard, I don't really know anything about Pioneer once again, so I'm just going with my gut here. 4 Voice of Victory, 4 Soul Guide Lantern. Of course, you need Graveyard Hate. I do know that the vehicles deck, the Orzhov vehicles deck, is good. Or maybe it's Mardu. I don't know. They reanimate the Parhelion or something. 4 Wear Down and 4 Day of Judgment for creature decks. And that's it. Let's jump in head first. Oh, one thing before we start, I want to say a really nice part about this list, whether or not it's powerful, is that if you've never played Pioneer before, and you're interested in trying it on MTGA, the cost to do it as a standard player is pretty low, assuming you already own 4 Fabled Passages, 4 Multiversal Passage, 4 Starting Town. The sideboard, do whatever you want with that. But the wild cards, I mean, it's all uncommons, right? Aside from the 4 Peter Parker's camera, which is optional, and the 1 Sanctum of All, right? But it's lands and sideboard cards, so you could really do this idea on even more of a budget if you wanted to. But the cards that I have invested in this, like the rare wild cards, are not only are they useful in Standard, they are just kind of good in most formats, I would say. I mean, they're like good crafts, right? Because they're like useful across many decks, the passages, the starting towns, etc., etc. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's hop right in to ranked matches with 5-color shrines. All right, hopping in on the play against Scrollless, they have Kahira the Orphan Guard. I forgot companions are in Pioneer. I mean, this is a decent hand, I think. We have some card advantage shrines, which are among the best ones that we could be having. We have a turn 2 play. We have pretty good mana. I was inspired this morning. Someone left a comment on my $30 mono blue control video in Standard to dip my toes into Pioneer a little bit. And I figured I'm not going to take it too seriously at first. I want to explore the format and see with my own eyes like what kind of decks are common in the meta. I'm like pretty interested in checking it out at the very least, Let's just play the Go Shintai here. No, let's just play a second Phenomena Recorder. And then I can ramp with this Fabled Passage next turn. I think that's probably better into what is presumably just Azorius control. Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest, okay. A Ramping Shrine. Double Recorder on the field. Pass it to ya. I would guess they're on, No More Lies. Seems pretty at the level of Pioneer based on my assumptions. So this is an exploratory video for me, at least. I mean, if you're familiar with Pioneer and you have any suggestions on directions to go, happy to hear you out. I played it in paper maybe once. Probably some kind of collected company list is probably the direction I took it. No, actually, you know what? I remember playing a decent amount of mono green Nykthos, but this was like way back in the day before. Oh, I just kind of skipped on my Fabled Passage trigger. That's okay. I goofed a little bit. Could have ramped there. Did a whoopsie. Too busy walking and talking, as Aspiring Spike says. Just gonna go for it again. Playing around. No More Lies. This time I will do the thing properly. But this was before like people knew what was good in Pioneer, and I think I was playing like collected company with my Nykthos situation, and like a bunch of Burning Tree Emissaries and triple green pipped creatures to eventually like just cast a Craterhoof Behemoth or something like that. I don't remember the exact list, but it was something along those lines. We would have been in a much better position with a little extra land on the field from that previous blunder, but not the end of the world. Just get some colors here. I mean, it doesn't super really matter what we grab with this Starting Town White Lotus Hideout combination. I think what I'm going to go for here, I want to make sure that this Spirit Oasis resolves. I'm just going to go for this Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Tips them off as to what I'm doing now. Pretty unlikely that they counter this, but yeah, there's the No More Lies. Okay, not the end of the world. Let's get the Goshen Tai of Boundless Vigor on the field. It's got Boundless Vigor, so they probably won't be able to stop that. And if you're like a standard player and you've been watching my content for a little bit now, I mean, as long as I've been posting it, this could be a fun foray into Pioneer for the both of us, especially with something a little non-serious. It's fun to see the shrines just do their thing, you know. I've always been a big shrines fan ever since I think my very first Power Cube draft, probably. Yeah, probably my very first vintage cube draft. I was like, oh, shrines. I mean, this was like on MTGO 10 years ago, maybe, you know? Just gonna swing in. I guess I can play the Northern Air Temple and then put a counter on my, or put 2 1/1 counters on my Goshen Tai of Boundless Vigor. Well, how about that? They're gonna have to deal with this eventually, right? The the kind of awkward part about this guy is like I actually have quite a few shrines that produce a very wide board, and so you know, generally the shrines are pretty resilient to decks playing single target removal, but this guy, before ever being able to get big, really is pretty likely to just die to removal. Yeah, we'll keep swinging in, though. I guess I could probably go for the Spirit Oasis at this juncture. So let's do that. I guess I don't have to crack this Fabled Passage quite yet. Could have maybe saved it for a little extra ramp. Not the end of the world. And if this resolves, I can double the trigger with my Phenomena Recorder. Okay. Trigger. Try to draw a million cards. And if they have like a, well, I guess they can't have a Tidebinder, but they could have a way to counter the trigger here. Okay, get lost. Yeah, it makes sense. But I still get to draw 4, which is pretty good. Pass it. Let's put some more counters on my Goshen Tai of Boundless Vigor, of course. It's a 5/5 trample, no big deal. All uncommons, basically, by the way. Let's see what we have here. Let's read our shrines real quick. Sanctum of Shattered Heights. You can discard a land card or shrine card, deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. Okay. This one adds mana. It's pretty decent. It's nice that in a 5-color deck it lets you kind of fix also. This one, of course, burns your enemies, which is pretty nice. Let's go... I think we just want to get another Spirit Oasis on the field here. See if they have anything to say about this. They do not. I'm kind of trying to think about setting up, like, play a Northern Air Temple and double its trigger to just kind of burn my opponent out. I don't think I need to double draw here. Kyoshi Island Plaza is pretty good. Lets you, like, do a big ramp. I'm not sure that my opponent is going to be able to beat my shrines. I'm kind of just, like, drawing a million cards. I'm going to go for the Island Plaza. They might just let it resolve. But if it does resolve, I get 4 basics out of my deck and get to draw, trigger my other shrines here. I'm way ahead for next turn. And I don't think typically these Azorius control decks have, like, busted 1-turn combos that I need to be worried about. Feeling pretty ahead. Great opener for our shrines list here. Kind of surprised the Goshen Tai of Boundless Vigor is still on the field, but we'll take it. I'm going to get rid of this Fabled Passage. I'm out of basics in my deck, so it's more useless than the starting tone. In my testing with this list, I only played it a couple times. Just I figured, hey, this is pretty good enough, and for the meme and for the video, you know, I think it's good enough. But the 4-mana red one from the Avatar set that makes prowess monks or prowess allies. I guess they're probably just prowess monks. That one goes crazy. If you get like 3 prowess monks, even the following turns, you're just swinging for like 9 damage every turn, double spelling, you know, etc., and then doubling the ETB trigger with the Phenomenon Recorder. It's kind of nuts. So, kind of thinking we're gonna win this game 1 at the very least. We'll see how games 2 and 3 go. See if they have a sideboard plan for shrines. Bring in our Voice of Victories. Okay. And then let's start cutting the, like, creature-centric shrines, I think. Like, this one destroys a creature. This one kills creatures or planeswalkers. I'm not sure if that's a problem or not. This one taps creatures. We don't really need that. Milling might be an option. Just cut a land on the draw here. Could cut a land. Yeah, we'll cut an Aang's Journey. Try it like that. Fun stuff, fun stuff. All right, match 1, game 2 on the draw. I mean, yeah, we'll keep this. Importantly, it's got our colors. Aang's Journey, pretty interesting card. Solid. Helps us fix in colorless, and helps us if you cast this with the kicker, you just tutor up a shrine. Seems pretty fine. Okay, I'll just lead on a fetch here. I don't think I'm going to fire off this Aang's Journey turn 2. My land situation is pretty fine. I think I'm going to grab a Swamp here. It's the most likely thing I would want to cast on turn 2. Oh, or that. Voice of Victory. Voice of Victory is pretty likely to get countered here. I think I'm just going to play a land and pass. They put Kahira in their hand. They may come to regret this. They may come to regret this. I'm seeing an opening. Grab a Plains. Play the starting town. Play the Voice of Victory. See what they have to say about that. I'm not going to be able to swing into their Kahira if they decide to play it, but gonna make them make a decision here. See if they left in any removal for the Voice of Victory. If all goes according to plan, we get to resolve this Sanctum of Calm Waters. Start filtering through our deck, drawing and discarding. Ooh. Kyoshi Island Plaza, also pretty good. Both really nice options here. I think I'm going to go with the Calm Waters. Probably a little more relevant over a long game. Both are good though. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a tough call there because I have 2 Calm Waters, right? And I'd like to get the Island Plaza on the field. I don't know. Maybe it's just not a problem at all. Like, maybe they don't have an answer to this Voice of Victory, and I kind of get to do everything. The Wandering Emperor. Well, believe you only exile tapped creatures. Not a problem for me. Just won't be swinging with the Voice of Victory. See if you can beat this awesome shrine value. Draw and discard. Oh, there's the Crescent Island Temple. Beautiful. Let's get rid of the second Sanctum of Calm Waters here. I think I gotta get this Island Plaza on the field. I could alternatively play the Aang's Journey, hit a land drop, and then play like the Spirit Oasis to start drawing more cards, but I think just getting this on the field is a little bit better. I am running out of basics. Good to know. No attacks here. Taking a moment. Thinking about our options. My opponent has found themselves somewhat stun-locked by the awesome power of Shrines. Next turn we get to, like, probably double Shrine if I lead on the Spirit Oasis, hit my land drop, and then I get to play this Crescent Island Temple to make a million Shrines. I kind of see the Goshintai of Shared Purpose as, like, our backup Crescent Island Temple. Probably the best creature shrine that we have. Not trying to play too many of them because they make us a little more soft to like main deck removal from our opponents. Puts a counter on the Samurai. Probably going to swing in here, put me to 10. Taking their time with this choice. Okay, they just time out. They just time out. I don't know why. They're just hovering over their stuff. They don't like what's going on here. They don't like the awesome power of my shrines. Start drawing some more cards. Ooh, a Phenomena Recorder. Okay, discard the starting tone. Phenomena Recorder goes crazy with the Crescent Island Temple. We have enough mana to do it all. I guess it puts them in a position where they have to wipe the board, which is kind of interesting. I'm just going to go for it. Crescent Island Temple. Put the trigger on the stack. 3 Prowess Monks. Voice of Victory. Coming in clutch from the sideboard. Reading my shrines. They really, I kind of think they're filled with absolute disgust. They're filled with absolute disgust. Voice of Victory on the field. Killing him with shrines. Okay, okie dokie. Okay, resolves. Double this trigger. Make 6 Prowess Monks. Threaten to kill them next turn. Outside of them having a board wipe. But even if they do have a board wipe, like, we rebuild very, very nicely. Every time we play a shrine from now on, we get a 1/1 Prowess Monk, so not too scary. And we can start making a bunch of dudes with this Goshintai of Shared Purpose. Spirit Oasis is pretty huge. Pass it back to him. I think my opponent has entered full baby mode. They didn't even activate their Fountain Port. They're just like timing me out at every opportunity here. Okay, they're going to take some action. Supreme Verdict. Okay, fair enough. Shocks themselves. some kind of counter magic available. Perhaps negates? I don't know. Let's, maybe this, like, Goshentai is actually kind of a sick play here. They could have, like, a null in their deck. Okay, they get lost. My Calm Waters. Another Voice of Victory. Well, let's go for that while they're tapped out, and then we can do the Goshentai next turn. Go for the Spirit Oasis. Draw some more cards here. Probably don't need to double this trigger. I guess we could. Why not? Draw a million cards. Actually, no, because I think I'd rather play like one of the black shrines if we draw it in this position. Yeah, let's get this Sanctum of Stonefangs on the field. Make another monk. We're out of basics. Draw another Voice of Victory. I think I'm just gonna like crack a map here and pass. Sure. Put this on blue. Pass it back to you. Now, the Sanctum of Stone Fangs. At the beginning of your first main phase, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. Just block this. Samurai. I'm kind of thinking they're going to wipe the board again. Oh, Iganjo. Of course. So we'll just start draining our opponent for pretty big damage here every turn, and I can double this trigger with the Phenomena Recorder to like kind of threaten to just kind of burn them out here. Put them to 10, and go for another Voice of Victory, see if they have anything to say about that. Try to draw a million more cards? Okay, well this resolves, so we can actually get the Goshentai of Ancient Wars on the field too. This one, you can pay 1 to burn your opponent. Fun stuff. They're reading. We got a reader on our hands. No more basics. Draw a card. Ooh, another Crescent Island Temple. I guess we could play the Goshentai of Lost Wisdom here too. Start milling my opponent, but really I'm just going to go for the damage play here. And then if they have another board wipe, it's not really the end of the world, because I'm just kind of draining them with the Stone Fangs as well. And might as well shock myself here. Trigger both of my shrines, pay for both of them. We're here to shrine, right? You can't shine if you don't shrine. They're going to activate their Fountain Port this time. Possibly. They kind of have to wipe the board, which is interesting. An interesting angle to the shrine deck, actually. Shrine decks didn't used to be like this, where you actually produced huge boards, but this iteration, that's kind of how you're going to win most of your games, I think. Is just put a huge board out with the Crescent Island Temple, etc., etc. Or the Goshentai of Shared Purpose. Brimaz, King of Oreskos. Must be a sideboard card. Interesting. Okay, did we do it? 5-color shrines? First Pioneer match on video? Farewell. Okay. Well, I think we're... I kind of forgot about Farewell. Well, they're tapped out. I'm feeling okay. We can rebuild. Doesn't really matter the order in which we do this. They trigger the same either way. We are rebuilding. We have the technology. Look at how big the board gets so quickly. Do you have another board wipe? Supreme Verdict. Okay. Well, we have the Crescent Island Temple on the field. So at this point, it's like, I think it's farewell or bust. And they're at 4. So actually, we have plenty of burn you out shrines like this guy. So let's go for that one. See if they decide to counter this. I kind of think they have to, but even if they do, I can just Spirit Oasis. And they scoop it up. All right, GG. What a roller coaster of a match. Let's head into the next one. All right, match number 2 here. On the play, Really nice hand. We have our colors. I don't really, honestly, haven't been looking at the shrines. I'm just like, oh yeah, we got shrines in this hand. Seems pretty good. We can do this Angst Journey on turn 2, get our fixing going. I guess we don't even really have to, but it probably makes sense to just fish up a basic. Takanuma, Abandoned Mire, Thoughtseize. Okay. I would imagine they're going to take the Spirit Oasis here. They're also probably going to need to take a moment to read the shrines. If any of you are here from my standard content, by the way, I think what I'm going to do, this is like minutia, not that important, but I think I'm going to, let's go on a little journey. I think I'm going to like label my thumbnails a different color for the Pioneer videos if I continue to do them, like green or red maybe, I don't know. Just to give a little visual indicator like, hey, other than, you know, the title that you're about to watch some Pioneer perhaps. Go for the Spirit Oasis and then set up for this Kyoshi Island Plaza next turn. So we'll do like purple for standard. That'll be kind of my classic look, and then some different identifying color for future Pioneer content. And then when I get really into like, I don't know, Timeless or Vintage Cube or whatever, we'll do a different color there as well. Double Cub. I see it's made its way to Pioneer. That makes sense. Makes sense to me. Ouroboros. Oh, it's strong enough for Pioneer, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be beating this one anytime soon. I think I'm just dead. Well, hold on. I can Shattered Heights here. And then deal 2 to one of these land creatures? No. Let's move on to the next one. Let's get our board wipes in. Simply too much. Bring in the Day of Judgments. Go down. I think if there's a matchup where Sanctum of Tranquil Light is good, it's probably okay here. Goshentai of Lost Wisdom blocks. Cut the Boundless Vigor. Their stuff is just going to be too big. Let's cut the Ancient Wars here. Shattered Heights could be good. Southern Air Temple is probably not necessary to close out games. And then... Sanctum of All could be an interesting way to win a match. Let's keep that one in. Maybe cut a Stone Fangs. Maybe cut a Recorder. Try it like that. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. We can cast most of our stuff pretty natty here. Good fixing. I like the early Sanctum of Stone Fangs. It's probably like one of the more important things we could be doing in this kind of match to give us a bit of a cushion. Okay, Day of Judgment is huge, and we have our first planes here, so we can find the second planes off of Angst Journey. And then turn 4 Day of Judgment. Could keep us in the game. See what our opponent's up to. Do they have a crazy fast start here? Duress. Well, I think I can imagine what they're going to take with this Duress. They're considering just taking the Angst Journey, which would be kind of a greedy play. They should probably just take the Day of Judgment. They take the Angst Journey. Okay, I wonder if that means they have a second Duress. Interesting. Let's see what we draw here. Well, Thoughtseize Bug is real. Tell your friends. Jam. Just gonna grab a second planes? I only have the one? Okay. Deck building error. I'll grab a forest here. I was sure that I had 2 planes in my deck. I will fix that right after this match. I will fix that right after this match. Duress makes sense. take the Day of Judgment. Their board is not good right now, though. I mean, Day of Judgment like would have been good eventually, surely, but they don't really have anything going on. I think I'm gonna go Kyoshi Island Plaza, start ramping, and then set up to be able to like pay for this ability on the same turn I play it. Abrupt Decay. Okay. Makes sense. Multiversal Passage. Well, there's our double white. No problem. For the future. Let's grab a blue source here. Vault. I saw a deck this morning. It was like mono black demons, and they were just like activating their Mutavault to trigger Unholy Annex. Is that like a common Pioneer thing? Go for the Goshin Tai. Start bopping their creatures. Also just a 2/2 Death Touch. Not the worst. Not a great body. Probably just gonna die here. Tear Asunder. Okay. Fine. Not among our more important shrines that we could have on the field. Would love to hit one of our card advantage shrines. Deep Cavern Bat gonna whiff, but our opponent really is not doing a whole lot, so we're big chillin'. And we have a lot of really, really good hits. There's the Day of Judgment. Let's chill on that. Pass it back to him. Wait until they play an Ouroboros, I think. Double Mutavault's going to be a bit of a problem. I really wouldn't mind drawing one of the shrines that like starts generating blockers for us. There's some card advantage. That seems fine. Try to draw a couple cards here. They might kill this when it enters to deny me a card. Kind of makes sense. Yep, Tear Asunder. Doesn't really matter what we grab there. White Lotus Hideout. Pass it back to you. I actually should have held on to that land, probably. There's the Unholy Annex. They're doing the thing. Okay, that's pretty cool. I should have held on to it because I have a couple shrines that... I have that one that cares about like discarding lands or shrines to ping. Well, it's not going to matter here. All right, good game. Not the cleanest running, but not really... Ultimately, my misplays did not contribute to my loss there, but I'm going to go add a second Plains to my deck and then hop into match 3. Match 3 on the draw. Really nice hand. I swapped out the second swamp for... Sorry, the second mountain for the second Plains. I'm not sure why there were 2 mountains in the first place. Gonna lead on this Fabled Passage here. Some kind of red aggro deck. I was thinking also during that brief pause, the Aang's Journeys maybe are a little unnecessary. It's a little slow to like tap out for 2 mana just to find a basic on turn 2. Yeah, you get a couple life back, but kind of maybe more just a limited card for the archetype. I think I'm gonna go Phenomena Recorder, tapped Passage here. Start to try to ramp. Just go on white, I suppose. Maybe green makes more sense. I might just die. I mean, that's always an option, you know? I'm not that prepared for hyper aggro matchups. Academic Dispute. Target creature blocks this turn if able. You may have it gain reach until the end of turn to learn. Okay, so a 1 mana instant that... And the lessons are pretty good right now. Accumulate Wisdom. Awesome. Wow, it's kind of crazy to see how much of an influence that the recent standard sets are having on these older formats. I mean, not that Pioneer is particularly old, but we get to... I get to fetch here and play this Northern Air Temple if I grab second Swamp, which I do have in the deck, I believe. Or I could play a Phenomena Recorder. So this one will come in tapped. We'll grab a Forest here. Grab a Swamp. Play the Northern Air Temple, although it might be more prudent to save it. Might be more prudent to save it. They're reading my cards. Storm Chaser's Talent. What's new is old again. Or something, I don't know. Swings in, makes sense. They can't double spell this turn? Okay, kind of huge for us. Can we do anything cool? We can play this Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Yeah, I mean, we kind of have to, unfortunately. I guess we just need to cross our fingers and hope that our opponent doesn't have anything real next turn. And if we manage... Okay, so they bounce my Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Interesting. Kind of surprised they are less interested in, like, just waiting to double spell. But having this double swamp situation, I think I kind of curved out incorrectly. I think I sequenced improperly is ultimately what's going to get me here. I suppose I'm not dead. I have some draws that could be decent. Goshen Tie of Boundless Vigor. Okay. Well, if I play that, gain a little life, no attacks. They get to just fire up the Flood Maw. Yeah, I don't know. I think I sequenced pretty poorly there. And not having access to red mana to be able to cast that Crescent Island Temple is kind of unfortunate for us. Let's bring in these Soul Guide Lanterns. They seem pretty decent. Probably the Voice of Victories as well. Probably don't need Day of Judgment necessarily. Let's go down. Let's just try it without the Aang's Journeys here, just to see what that looks like. And then cut the Tranquil Light, cut the Mill piece, cut Ancient Wars. It's just a 3-mana 2/2. Probably dies to a lot of their stuff. And Southern Air Temple could be good. Is this a Sanctum of All matchup? Maybe. Maybe. I'd like to see it go off at least once. Cut the Fruitful Harvest here. Try it like this. On the play. Soul Guide Lantern. Pretty good hand. I mean, we have our colors. Having this like White Lotus hideout I think is pretty important. Play that and pass. I mean, I should have played a Starting Town, but I was just so excited to show off my White Lotus hideout. Holding up mana here. They probably have a Knolls in their sideboard. Were I guessing, man, it seems at the level for Pioneer. I'm gonna go for this Goshen Tie. They probably will just kill it, but I don't think I really care that much. They annul this? Okay. Great. It's exactly where we want to be. Play a Soul Guide Lantern. Sneak that through. Potential future annuls. And now we have our arguably two of our best shrines here in hand. Could have a second annul, which is why maybe they were pretty eager to fire off that first one. Northern Air Temple, not a bad draw. Let's see if they counter this one. Nope, they do not counter that one. And we'll go for the card advantage one, I suppose. Pretty likely to counter it. Annul part 2. Fair enough. But you have Prowess Otter. We're going to have quite a lot of Prowess Monks. Just have a fun little Prowess off for a little bit. Quarry Steel Cutters kind of doing their thing. Bounces their Storm Chaser's talent back. Okay, well, it kind of makes sense that this is pretty good in Pioneer. We're learning. I'm downloading the format. The data is entering my brain. I'm dying. dying at a rapid rate. Back to me. Play our Crescent Island Temple, make a couple monks. Probably just gonna end up having to cycle this Soul Guide Lantern. Unless they go, like, activate the Storm Chaser's talent here. They're double spelling. Yeah, I'm super dead. Okay, good to know. Match 4, on the play. Is it possible this Eternal format is perhaps a tad too fast for my janky 5-color Shrines deck? Okay, well, it helps when our opponent mulligans to 5 here. And we have a pretty solid start. A lot of untapped lands, which are nice. Not too many color demands here. I think I'm going to lead on the Stone Fangs, so we'll just put this on black, tapped. Shivan Reef. Oh no. Not again. Marauding Mako. Is this just like Vivi Cauldron? Am I about to play against Vivi Cauldron? I guess that's technically legal in Pioneer. It's probably pretty good, right? That would be crazy. Y'all got a crazy format over here. Any Pioneer players in the chat? What is going on? I can only assume this is about to be like Vivi Cauldron. Start draining them for 1 every turn. They might just have counter magic, but I'm going to go for this Spirit Oasis. Put this on green for a future Kyoshi Island Plaza. See if this resolves. Draw a couple cards, hopefully. Maybe start draining them for 2 every turn. Okay. The drain is growing. Plains and a Goshen Tie of Shared Purpose. And they have nothing going on. Winter Night Stories. This is Vivi Cauldron. Show me the Vivi. Let's see it. Okay, well, I know they have it. They don't have to show me. Marauding Mako. Swing it in. Ink's Journey. Drain for 2. That's kind of adding up quick, huh? Let's go for the Kyoshi Island Plaza. They're not presenting the fastest clock here, and this gives us a huge amount of ramp. Mountain, swamp, second plains, that's probably fine. Meaning that we get to double shrine next turn, boosting the damage from our Sanctum of Stonefangs even more. Get a little Crescent Island Temple action going. Profts make sense. Yeah, I mean, this kind of looks busted when our opponent has a clunky start, right? Like, how are they supposed to beat Crescent Island Temple, you know? Main deck. Maybe they're on some amount of Iroh's demonstration. I don't know. Drain for 3. Go for the Island Temple. Sequencing doesn't really matter here. Grab a forest. Make 4 prowess monks. I think I'm just gonna play the Goshen Tie of Boundless Vigor here over the Shared Purpose, because if they have an answer, I'd rather, I think, they kill this than my Goshen Tie of Shared Purpose. Running out of basics, let's just grab the last one with this Fabled Passage while we can. Make this Goshen Tie of Boundless Vigor quite large. 6/6 trample, by the way. Shocks themselves. See if they do busted Vivi Cauldron stuff. Otherwise, they're just kind of dead to my monks. And Sanctum next turn. Activate Rona. Definitely a Cauldron deck. There's Vivi. Alright, we'll see if a million mana can do it for them. If they can access flying or trample or something to get through all of this stuff. Mox Amber, pretty cool. Exciting to see this format and what kind of things people are doing. Could be an interesting option for me, giving me a little more space to brew in, especially... I have a pretty decent, like, Pioneer collection already, having played a decent amount of MTGA since the beginning. Picks up the profts. Picks up the profts. Okay, cool. Redraw. Oh, it's a legendary spell for Rona also. Nice. Damn. Kind of crazy. I wonder if they're playing against me. I noticed they're in plat. I wonder if they're playing against me like, damn, this guy got to mythic with shrines? Nah. No, that's my standard rank, really. Soul Cauldron on the field. Oh, well, they clearly have access to 1,000,000 mana now. Vivi Cauldron. Anyone miss it from standard? I don't know. Personally, I kind of feel like I was playing a lot of Seam Rip back then, and it was really, really good against Vivi Cauldron. And I didn't necessarily find the deck, like, the play patterns when they were going off and that solitaire thing that the current, like, Lessons deck has the same problem with, where they just have non-deterministic powerfully turns that you have to sit through. Yes, that's obviously pretty annoying. As far as the power level goes, I kind of feel like maybe Standard is even more powerful than Vivi Cauldron was currently. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's wrong, but I just feel like these, like it's a hateable deck, you know? I don't know. But this is looking pretty strong right now. Big boy. Lots of spells. Kind of feeling like... Okay, so that now they have to activate Marco Sharko. Profs Part 2. I'm going to skip through the rest of this. We've all sat through enough Vivi Cauldron. I'll edit forward into my turn here. Okie dokie. They played a big Riddler, made their Rona big, and passed. I think they're just dead here. Sanctum of All. And just cast several Angst Journeys, I think, and kill them. Don't really need to do much else. All right. good first match against Vivi. First game against Vivi Cauldron. Bringing the Soul Guide Lanterns. Yeah, Wear Down looks pretty good here. Maybe the Voice of Victories. Yeah, probably a couple of them are fine. They're pretty likely to cut their removal against me. Cut the Sanctum. Actually, Sanctum could be okay against them. In a really long, grindy game. They usually have one big guy that they're swinging with. Yeah, we'll keep that one in. Let's go down the mill one. Let's go down the 2/2. Let's go down Sanctum of Shattered Heights. I think their stuff is just going to be too big. Probably the same problem with Goshen Tai of Hidden Cruelty. Just kind of playing to block with my tokens. Try it like that? Yeah. Try it like that. Okay, decent opener. I'm going to keep this. It's a little risky. We need to hit our land drops, but I like that we have the Voice of Victory. I like that we have the Sanctum of Stonefangs. And the Southern Air Temple actually looks pretty good with the kinds of shrines we have in hand right now. Let's put this on white, tapped, and then we have this White Lotus hideout, which lets us cast all of our shrines, so our colors are pretty good too. Just need to hit land drops. They're doing the thing. Phenomena Recorder. Okay, go for a Voice of Victory. Could slow down their plan if they went like on a Knolls, you know? Not the least likely thing that they could be doing. Sokka Bold Boomeranger. Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, draws and discards, I guess. Land drop is huge. We just need one more. Get our Sanctum on the field. Get a Phenomenon Recorder. Come on, please. One more land. No swings. Blocking might be relevant. What a weird inclusion, huh? I don't know. 2 mana to discard 2, draw 2 is probably pretty good for this deck. I guess they're casting some amount of Lessons. They could just like be all in on a Lessons plan that I don't know of. I guess it gets a counter pretty quickly. which is interesting. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So it gets a counter to be another Agatha's Soul Cauldron target. And now we're like big Rona energy right now, just like 2020. Doing their thing, swinging in. Do they have another spell to cast? If they do, it's probably just like, I don't know, opt? They're probably not on opt. Drain 1. Another Voice of Victory. Maybe not the best draw here. Let's hold them back as blockers still. They decide not to start Rona-ing. Winter Night Stories. Can they get their Vivi online? Riddler in the graveyard. Another target for their Soul Cauldron, importantly. They should have swung first and then done this, I think. But I guess maybe they're planning on activating Sokka. I'll just try to double block Sokka, see if that does anything for me. Gives them another target to Cauldron onto, but takes a dude off the field. Northern Air Temple. That's not awful. I get to like double the trigger, drain 4. Maybe I just hit him for 6 here and just kind of try to burn him out. It's a little crazy. Drain them for 2 next turn, plus I get to double that with the recorder. It's a little crazy. It just might work. It just might work. I would imagine they're going to start popping off here, though. Start by bouncing their talent. Replay the talent. Big otters. Can you get your otters big enough to kill me, though? That's kind of the question. That's kind of the question. Activate the Soul Cauldron. Another counter on their guy. 9 power. Can they cast 2 more spells? I kind of feel like they would have if they could. Retraction Helix. Do you have 1 more spell? No? I go to 1. Okay. A window? An opportunity? They scoop it up. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm just draining them to death here. I can double the trigger on the Sanctum of Stonefangs. Okay. 2 and 2, I guess. Let's move into the next one. Ooh, final match on the play against Zachary Binks, Yorion Sky Nomad. We have our colors. That's pretty good. Not a whole lot of shrine action, but a little bit of ramp on the play. Gonna keep this one. Yorion the Sky Nomad, sick art. Really excited to play against Yorion here. I played quite a lot of Yorion when it was legal in Modern. Kind of my own take on it, not like the standard sort of Omnath stuff necessarily. Aang's Journey, okay. Excited to see Aang's Journey pop off a little bit here. It's going to be pretty good with the abundant mana that we're generating off the Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Overlord, okay, they're doing Overlord stuff. That kind of makes sense. Let's go for red here. Just going to cast this Crescent Island Temple. And then we can start popping off a bit next turn. 2 Prowess Monks. Pretty decent. See if they have any good answers for what we're doing. I'd imagine they're on like the, what's that domain enchantment? Binding of the Old Gods. Destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Okay, cool. Makes sense to me. Probably have to go for one of our card advantage shrines off of this Aang's Journey. Northern Air Temple. Let's go black, I suppose. Play the air temple here, trigger the prowess on our monks. Kick this Aang's Journey, try to find one of our card advantage shrines. I think I'm just going to grab the Spirit Oasis here. I think this is most likely to... the instant injection of cards is probably the most important thing. Opponent's on some spice, though. Searches for forests. Okay. Up the beanstalk. Nice. Overlord, hard cast. Well, I actually don't think that's going to beat the shrines, especially with this other northern air temple here. Let's play this Spirit Oasis. Let's tap this forest instead. Trigger prowess. Draw some cards. And then I get to slam this second northern air temple with Phenomena Recorder backup to just kind of kill them here, I think. I think if I've learned anything about this list so far, it's that this is the strong stuff to be doing, and we need to cut some of the accessory shrines that are in here just to be shrines, Bring in the wear downs, I think. I'll talk about it a little more in the wrap-up. I have some thoughts that there's actually some pretty powerful stuff going on here, and you could maybe hone in on a slightly better version. Game 2, match 5, on the draw. Yeah, once again, pretty decent hand. I mean, it's not fast, but we were never fast. Let's just play this tapped on green? Doesn't super matter. I'm probably going to go turn 2 Fabled Passage anyway. Dredger's Insight. Okay. Do you have a lot of hits here? Pinnacle Star Cage. Not excellent against us. Yeah, might as well just fire off a Fabled Passage here. Not doing anything anyway. Up the Beanstalk. I don't know. I mean, they have the grind potential for sure, but can they hang with the raw power of the shrines? And there's the Sanctum of All. The strongest of all the shrines. I guess if I play Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest right now, I can play Sanctum of All next turn? And I feel like that's a good way to cap the video, is like if I get a nice little Sanctum of All win. Okay. Enigmatic Incarnation. Nice. That explains a lot. I don't think I've ever actually played against this card, but I've always been interested in it for sure. Well, if I go for the Sanctum of All, they're pretty likely to have an answer for it, I think. So I'm a little more interested in playing this Kyoshi Island Plaza, accelerate my game plan a little better. Get another green sword. We'll get the mountain, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm winning this one with the Zur on the field. Enigmatic Incarnation is pretty scary. Up the Beanstalk, and then they get to go play the Overlord and Incarnation it away for a 6-drop. That's really sweet. Yo, this deck's sweet. This is something I could get behind. My first love in Modern was Birthing Pod, so I've always had a soft spot for these kinds of pod effect cards. Overlord of the Boiler Biggles. I'm honored. Add a couple blue. We can... or red is what I meant to say. I can crack this Fabled Passage. I can play the Sanctum Vault and the Crescent Island Temple. Right? Yeah. We'll try that out. Grab another forest here. I have a feeling the Crescent Island Temple, or sorry, the Sanctum Vault is not long for this world, but Crescent Island Temple. I think I would probably play 4 of these. were I a shrine man. I think I'd probably just play 4 of these because it's good every time it enters. It doesn't really matter that it's legendary. You want the enter the battlefield trigger really. Yeah, I have some thoughts. Maybe even for the Spirit Oasis for the same reason. It's just like much better Sanctum of Calm Waters. Like not having to wait to untap with the Sanctum of Calm Waters is pretty huge. Now we have good chumps against this Overlord. It is going to be chunking me for 4 every turn. But Sanctum of All is here, and that's kind of interesting. See if we can do some stuff with that. We're going to get some mad triggers on our shrines. Leyline Binding. I have a feeling that's coming after the Sanctum of All. We'll see if that's enough, though. We'll see if that's enough, because I'm going to be drawing a lot of cards here. I'll have access to quite a lot of mana, and making monks every turn still. Okay, Enigmatic Incarnation away the Boiler Biggles for an Etali. This deck is so sick, dude. Next time you see me in Pioneer, it's Enigmatic Incarnation time. I don't know, maybe not. No, my wear down. No. And they hit an Overlord. Phenomena Recorder. Wait. Oh, they give me a card. No. My own weapon's used against me. Maybe I should be on Farewells in the sideboard. Okay, well, let's play the Spirit Oasis. I kind of think maybe the only way we have out of this is if I draw another Crescent Island. So let's just draw some cards here, see what we hit. Grab the last forest out of our deck. Well, there's a Crescent Island Temple. It's probably not going to be enough with this Trampling Etali, though. Actually, it doesn't have hexproof, so I could just tap it. That's interesting. So... But I can't tap this Overlord. But tapping Etali is kind of huge, actually. I can play this. Oh. Sanctum. Prowess on my monks. Draw a card. And the fact that this is a 1-mana shrine is maybe a little underrated too. Maybe I should be on 2 of those. Another Phenomena Recorder. So this costs currently 3 to activate. Which means I could shock myself and play this Sanctum of Calm Waters. It's probably fine. Oh. No, I can't. Well, I'll just play the Crescent Island Temple. That's maybe even better anyway. Big dudes on the field. Set up for a pretty big prowess turn next turn. Northern Air Temple. Well, kind of huge. Am I dead this turn? I really don't know. Am I dead this turn? It's not like this is trampling and I can tap this. I'd rather kind of hold on to the Northern Air Temple to like play it with these Phenomena Recorders. Recoup a bunch of life that way. Maybe that's not that important. Let's go for this. I don't know. Maybe there's like some spectacular combo turn that I'm depriving myself of by playing this right now, but maybe the life gain is kind of important. I think I'm allowed to swing with like 3 of my 5/5 prowess monks. I'll trade 1 in. It's not bad. Start chunking them. Make my burnout plan a little more realistic. I guess they can fire up a couple of their enchantments over the course of these turns, but they're not trampling critically. Meticulous Archive. Now my Sanctum of Tranquil Light only costs 1 mana to activate, which is actually kind of real right now. Obviously, the enchantment creatures having hexproof is not ideal for us. Kutzel's Flanker. What does that even do? Gain 2, scry 2. Okay. How dope would this card be if it had like a naturalize mode on it, or at least destroy target enchantment? That'd be kind of crazy. Yorion. Drawing cards. What are we doing with this here, Yorion? Targeting. Spelunking, up the beanstalk, flanker. Okay, well, it's not that good. Tapatali. Tapatali. Hey, we're kind of in this. If I'm being real with you, we're kind of in this. They're pretty tapped out. Chump the guys. I'm making quite a lot of monks next turn. And my future northern air temples are going to be draining for a pretty crazy amount. Drawing cards every time I play shrines. It'd be nice to have the like mana generating shrine on the field right now, but we have a lot of natural mana with the ramp from Kyoshi Island Plaza. They're drawing cards, they're putting lands from their hand on the battlefield. Yeah, seems fine. 43 cards left in their deck, 33 in mine. Untapped Underground Mortuary. Let's just skip to my turn here, I think. Okay, they decide not to do anything with their Enigmatic Incarnation. Interestingly enough, discard to hand size. Sanctum of Stone Fangs. Okay. Well, let's just start playing out our cards. We still have this Sanctum of Tranquil Light to tap their non-trampling threats. Sorry, tap their trampling threat, which is kind of the most important thing. We can tap their flyer as well. Draining 1 every time we play a shrine, drawing a card every time we play a shrine, making a 1/1 prowess monk every time we play a shrine. See what they decide to do about this Sanctum of Stone Fangs. Probably our most important piece at this juncture. Boseiju on the Sanctum of Tranquil Light. That's pretty good. Okay. RIP. Leyline Binding on the Spirit Oasis, maybe? Yeah. Makes sense. Well, I still might be able to survive a turn, though. Let's just deploy. Deploy. The prowess is kind of going crazy, if I'm being real. And I think I'm going to double up the trigger on this Boundless figure. Actually, no, I can't do that. That's okay. Maybe I just go double Phenomenon Recorder. Set up to double Phenomenon Recorder the Sanctum of Stone Fangs next turn. I mean, look at the prowess. It's it's kind of insane, actually. I could swing with some amount of this, I think. Maybe I'm not allowed to. I need to block 1, 2, 3, and a decent amount of trampling. But I'm going to have this big... I'll swing with 2 of them. That seems pretty conservative. They chump with a flanker. Makes sense. Pay for this Goshen tie. Make it a 7/7. Okay. Well, let's see what they have going on. I mean, they have 1 million mana. They have 1 million cards. Even if they, like... Even if I can't block Atali / Yorion, being able to block these guys and block any other Zur enchanted enchantments Should be okay. Casting a Titan of Industry. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Probably. Maybe coming after my Sanctum of Stonefangs here, or maybe my card advantage one. Okay, destroys the Goshen tie. I don't think I care about that. Undercity Sewers. Skips on a Spelunking, moves to combat, starts swinging in. Block, block. You can't do this at instant speed, so I think I can take... What is this, 12 damage? I think I can just take 12. I think having more prowess attackers next turn potentially might just let us win. We'll see if they decide to answer any of the other shrines on the field here. If not, I get to kind of go crazy with them. Another incarnation. So this probably means they can find answers to my shrines if they have any more in their deck. I really don't know like the composition of how these are built and what kind of toolbox effects they have. Sacrifice the second incarnation for Elesh Norn. Permanents entering the battlefield don't trigger. Okay, well, doesn't really slow us down quite yet, but seems pretty good in general against us. See if they go for another one. Because I can burn them for a good amount, or I can just like try to draw. Drawing a million cards probably makes more sense to just try to prowess off. I don't have an answer to this Elesh Norn though. And that's going to be kind of a problem for us. Another Overlord. Okay. Yeah, I think I just lose to the Elesh Norn. Not being able to like hit my air temples and stuff. Gonna be a bit of a problem. Put these on the stack. I maybe did the order wrong here, but I'm definitely gonna double Sanctum of Calm Waters. And while we're at it, let's double the Drain as well. Kind of makes sense to me. Bit of a mixture of effects. Draw a million cards. Discard a Fabled Passage. We are out of basics. Draw a million cards. Discard a Fabled Passage. We are out of basics. Wear down, huh? Maybe I should bring Day of Judgment in from the sideboard. I can kill Elesh Norn with this Goshen tie of Hidden Cruelty. That's a phrase I never thought I'd say. Because I can. So let's play the Goshen tie. I need to hold up a mana to be able to activate and play an additional shrine, I think. So I can just like wear down this Leyline Binding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wear down the Leyline Binding, get my... Oh no, they can just activate Zur. Right. So let's just play another Spirit Oasis. Maybe I should have played the Sanctum in this position. That probably would have been better. Play a tap starting town. Move to my end step. Kill Elesh Norn. See if that's good enough for anything here. Fires up the Leyline Binding. Okay. Well, they do have quite a lot of trampling damage at this point, and a Pinnacle Star Cage. Fair enough. All right, let's move it into the final game. That was a weird, grindy one. Bring in these Day of Judgments. Take out... What's, like, bad here? Maybe the wear downs go down 1 or 2. They're pretty awkward through the Zur, and I kind of feel like maybe just Day of Judgment is a cleaner answer to what they're up to. Yeah, we'll just play 3. Try it like that. All right. Actually, not a horrible hand. Being able to, like, kind of ramp out of my mind off this Fabled Passage is an interesting option. And arguably, I think the Phenomena Recorder is the like strongest individual card in the deck. Not counting like, you know, a big synergistic board full of shrines and then triggering a shrine. Just like, it's pretty good on its own with each shrine. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm just digging myself deeper into a hole that doesn't really make sense. I think I'm just gonna lead on Recorder. I guess it's a little weak to their Pinnacle Star Cages if they decided to keep them in the deck. Aang's Journey. I'm just gonna fire that off here and go for the Fabled Passage play next turn. Probably just grab an island here. Actually, let's grab our second planes. We brought in those Day of Judgments. Sanctum of Shattered Heights, interesting. Pass it to ya. Okay. We will also be ramping here. Make sure I do it properly this time. Mountain. Island. Sanctum of All. Okay. All right. Sanctum of All Redemption. See if they have an answer to it. They probably do. Binding of the Old Gods. Makes sense. Makes sense. Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. Okay, threatening some big mana here. Go for a second Recorder on the field. You know what? Let's play a third one. See if they have those Pinnacle Star Cages to eat my Recorders up. Because this way I can, like, kind of set up into a turn where I get to triple copy the trigger on Northern Air Temple. Don't Star Cage me, bro. Oh, why? Why do you have it in your deck? I guess it eats my tokens, and that's kind of nice. It's just a little crazy. Okay, well, yeah, I don't think I'm winning this one. We'll play Drago for a little while and see what happens. Creatures they control get Death Touch. I took out all of my answers to the Pinnacle Star Cage. Maybe kind of silly of me. Yeah, maybe I kind of threw this last one. I'm interested in exploring the Shrines archetype a little more, though, to be honest. Day of Judgment. Not bad right here. Just go for it. Cool to see a variety of matches, a variety of like opponents' deck lists. It actually gave me a really nice idea of what's going on in Pioneer right now. Played against Azorius Control. Is it Prowess? Is it Cauldron? Golgari or a Boroid? And now Enigmatic Incarnations Yorion? Fires up the Pinnacle Star Cage. You know, I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone do that. Binding of the Old Gods. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I kind of think the only thing that gets us out of this right now is drawing one of our card advantage shrines. Like at this turn right now, right here. Fabled Passage. Well, that'll do her. Hey, fun run. I had fun. Maybe a little bit of a mistake playing out all of those Recorders into their Pinnacle Star Cage, I guess. But 2 and 3 overall. Got to show off a little power of the shrines. I think were I to like take a more serious stab at this list, I'm gonna actually go in to the deck editor here and show it off. So I think I would build it something a little more like this, where cutting all of these like silly one-of shrines, cutting down on most of the creature shrines except for the Goshintai of Shared Purpose, and just plan to win on the back of like Northern Air Temple triggers with Phenomena Recorder, Sanctum of Stonefang triggers with Phenomena Recorder, card advantage, cut down on the 5-color shrine. We don't need too many Kyoshi Island Plaza. I think probably Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest plays a little better. At the very least, it's like It's cheaper. It actually ramps like earlier essentially, and plays nicer with cheaper shrines like this. And then just go all in on the Crescent Island Temple idea and the Goshen Tide of Shared Purpose idea, where you're just playing, making a really, really wide board that you're able to block with. I think that seems pretty decent. But once again, I pretty much know nothing about Pioneer. I'm not even going to start talking about sideboard options. This actually looked okay a lot of the time. Maybe the wear downs could be something else. But I actually thought it played surprisingly well. I mean, 2 and 3 for not having any experience in Pioneer and just booting up random old shrines, could be a good entry just to explore the format with a fun deck, like I said. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you are interested in seeing more Pioneer content. I'm kind of interested in exploring it. You got to understand I'm not like nearly as knowledgeable about it as I am Standard, but given some time, I could learn the meta and start figuring out some actually pretty decent brews, I think, in time. It's kind of a dead format, I hear, but it is mostly on Arena now, which makes it very accessible. So if you, I guess arguably now is the best time to get into it as far as being able to play it a lot, because you can just hop into Arena and play. And the other interesting aspect to that is, like, it seems like a lot of recent cards are making their way into Pioneer, which means whatever Standard deck you're playing right now probably has some footing into Pioneer with some additional upgrades from past sets, for sure. So thank you so much for watching. Most of the time I post Standard content. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll be back every day posting something. Yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.